welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we're doing 3 looks, 1 palette with the Anastasia and Alyssa Edwards palette. I am so excited to be bringing this video to you today. This really allows me to unleash my creative side. So today, as you can see by the thumbnail, you're getting 2 more colorful, bright looks because to me, if you're buying this palette, that's kind of what I would think you'd be buying it for. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested in this palette. Are you more interested in the brighter colors? Or are you more interested in the neutral shades? So you get 2 brighter looks, 1 everyday, super easy, super wearable look. I think what I'm missing is like more of an everyday look with a pop of color. So maybe that's what I'll do in the video that's coming this week. I'm doing a primer battle with the Anastasia primer in the P. Louise base. So maybe I'll give you that look in that video. But yes, if you're interested in seeing a first impression and review, it'll be linked up above as well as down below. And I am so excited to get into this video. This is my favorite thing to do on YouTube. Just jump in, play with makeup, get super creative. Let me know in the comments below if you've purchased this palette, what is your favorite thing about it, or are you thinking about it? I would love to hear from you. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Turn on notification bells so you can be notified when my new content is live. If you would like to keep up with me in other social media, all my social is linked down below along with other good information. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the first look started. Starting off with Unicorn Tribe on a Morphe M433, I already have my eyes primed with the Anastasia primer, and I'm just going to start building this color up into my crease. I'm just following the natural shape of my eye. So to figure this out, you can just kind of poke around and see where your socket is, and that's how you can find the natural space of your eye. So I'm just building this color up. I'm going to bring it to my inner corner. I'm not going to drag it too far down on the inner corner because I want to have space for that to be nice and light and bright. So once I have this laid down, I'm going to start to lightly blend it out. Taking Headliner, which is a white shade, on a Real Techniques 203 blending brush, I'm lightly going to highlight my brow bone with this color. So I'm holding my brush at an upward angle because I want most of the color deposited near my actual eyebrow. And then whatever is left is going right on top of Unicorn Tribe, and this is going to help blend it out and soften that color. So I'm just going to work on blending the 2 together, and that's how you're going to get that really gradual, effortless blend. Now it is time to pick up the gorgeous hot pink Texas Made. I am picking this up on a Morphe M506, and I'm going to start packing that on my inner corner. Typically, you would work from the outer corner to the inner corner, but because this pink is so pigmented, so bright, I wanted to lay that down before I went in with a darker color in the next color, because I really just wanted to make sure I had that whole area and whole base covered. So I'm just going to start wiggling that around, patting it on. When you're working with pigments and like really bright and almost neon looking colors, the best way to apply them is by patting them on and laying them in place where you want them to go, and then working on blending out the edges afterwards. If you're interested in learning more on how to work with really bright colors, be sure to check out my Makeup 101 series. I definitely have a video covering how to work and blend with bright colors. So I'm focusing this really in the crease, bringing it all the way up where Unicorn Tribe starts to fade out, and I'm bringing that across the halfway point in my crease, but I'm stopping at the midway point on my lid. So that pink is going to carry more across in the crease than it is on the lid. Going into the gorgeousness that is the shade Believe, I'm picking up a different Morphe 506 blending brush, and I am just going to be filling in that empty space. So I like going kind of at an angle because I like my shadow to act as a liner versus using actual eyeliner. So I'm bringing that 3/4 of the way in the eyeliner space, and then here I am just filling in that gap.
and then I'm going to start building up the pigment into my crease, but I don't want to bring the darkness too far into my eye, so I'm only slightly bringing this into the crease, and then I'm slightly fading it out to about the middle of my crease and not really bringing it much further, so we kind of have like that rounded U shape on the outer corner of the eye with the purple. So again, I'm just tapping this on to build up the pigment, and then I'm slowly starting to blend and work the shadow into place. Once I'm happy with the placement of that purple, I'm going to go back with the M433 that has Unicorn Tribe. Whatever is left over, I'm not picking up any new product, and I'm just going to blend and marry those colors together. Now, I could have just done purple liner all the way across, but because this is my first real time playing with this palette, I had to get into that blue. Okay, it's beautiful. So I'm taking Dream It on an e.l.f. angled brush. I think that this is called like an eyeliner brush or something. It's a little bit thicker, so it's perfect for using eyeliner or eyeshadow as eyeliner. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pack that across my lid right into the lash line. And I will caution, if you're doing this technique with any shadow, you probably will get fallout just because the shadow's crumbling in between your lashes. So be careful if you have the rest of your face on. If you're like me and you do your eyes first, then you have nothing to worry about. Going back into the matte white, the headliner, by the way, I'm so appreciative that there's a matte white in here. I wanted to brighten up my inner corner, so I just cleaned off one of the 506 brushes that I was using and just packed that on and started blending that up into my crease, just so you could have a little bit of a gradient, so it's not such a harsh, hot pink line at the inner corner. I wanted it to just be able to fade and beautifully melt together with all the other shadows. Going back in with Believe, the purple color, I'm taking a Real Techniques accent brush. I think this is the detailer brush. And this is where things can get a little bit messy because of the brush that I'm using. I wasn't really tapping off the fallout because I really wanted to keep the pigment. So again, you will get fallout, and it's nothing with the palette, it's just typical. And I'm just packing this along my lower lash line. I'm putting purple closest to the lashes, and then I'm going to blend it out with the blue. Looking back, I wish I put the primer under my eyes, because right here I have nothing on my eyes and it just wasn't quite as pigmented as the upper lash line, so lesson learned here. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend everything out with a Morphe 506 brush. Those smaller brushes are really a game changer when it comes to doing makeup. Now that I have the blue and purple blended out, I'm just dragging some pink onto the inner corner just to give it that full circle moment. I also popped some purple liner into my waterline. This is a LA Girl Shockwave liner. I believe the color is called Vivid. Finishing touches for this look is just re-brightening the inner corner with the white, and then I'm just going to apply my Ardell Wispy lashes. What are your thoughts on look 1? I'm obsessed with how this turned out. I love the bright colors in this palette. They're truly so pigmented and so easy to work with. I think that they look really great. I would love to hear your thoughts.
For the neutral look, I'm going to do like a really classic Meg smoky eye, so I'm really going to wing out. Just a lighter shade in the crease, a little bit of darkness in the crease, and then the shimmer on the lid, so I'm excited for that. So I think I'm going to focus on House of Edwards because I haven't really used this shade a lot, and then I'll darken it with back rolls, and then I'll highlight my brow bone with headliner, and of course the shimmer will be Inspire.
Picking up House of Edwards on a Morphe M433, I'm just really gonna blow this out. You don't have to bring this out as far as I do, it's just my personal go-to style. So I lay down the majority of the color into the crease, and then whatever's left on my brush, I just flick upwards in that motion, and then wherever that point stops, I bring the shadow into my crease. So again, I'm going with that higher crease. I'm leaving the very inner corner more open so you can see that I'm not filling in the very inner corner as much with shadow closer to my lid, if that makes sense. So I'm just really working on smoking this out. I'm gonna bring this pretty far up towards my brow bone. And here I am highlighting my brow bone with headliner. I wanted to lay this down first because I didn't want it to erase or cover up too much of the House of Edwards shade. So once I had that initial layout of where the shadow was going to go, I wanted to highlight, and then now I can blend on top of that white and it will still give us that really seamless blend. Once I was satisfied with how that looked, it was time to add a dimension to the look, so I'm picking up my Morphe M506 brush with just the littlest amount of back rolls because I didn't want it to be too dark. I'm going to start by lightly tapping the color into my crease and onto my lid where I want it, kind of mocking that V shape that I already have laid down, but I'm not going to exaggerate it as much, and I'm really only bringing that in like maybe a third of the way. And again, I like using shadow for liner. So here I am just packing this on as liner. This is going to be the darkest part of the look. This is where I'm going to build the shadow up the most. And doing it this way with the blending brush, I don't get as much fallout versus using the angled brush like I did when I used the blue in the last look. So I'm just going to lightly blend this out, and then I'm going to take the original brush that we used to blend that all together, and it's just going to give you the most subtle sense of dimension into the crease. The main focus with back rolls was to just have it on as liner. To finish up the upper half of this look, I'm just taking the beautiful gold shimmer Inspire on a Sonia Kashuk 110 brush, and I'm just packing that on, filling in the blank spaces. Any empty spot is going to get filled with that shimmer, and this shimmer is absolutely stunning. My only critique with this palette so far, honestly, is that I wish that there was like another light shimmer. Maybe I could have done without the black in the palette and had like a little bit of a lighter shimmer, more silver toned shimmer, because I'm just so fair that I just wanted something a little bit lighter, but I'm just being super picky. This is just honestly stunning. And I'm also super appreciative that there's a matte white in here too, because you can take that matte white and tone down the blue, the purple, the pink, any other color you can mix and match with the white to create more pastel colors. Not really relevant to what's going on, I just wanted to throw that out there. As a final little send off, once I have the shimmer on, I'm just going back with that same original brush, no new product, and just blending it all together so everything is nice and seamless. It is time to move on to the lower lash line, so I'm taking a Morphe E36 and back rolls, and I'm just going to go ahead and pack that on my lower lash line. So just right through there, and then I like to connect it to what's going on in the crease. I also took my Lannister Gold eyeliner from Urban Decay and put that on my waterline because honestly, it goes with the look. It looks so good. And then just slightly under that, I'm blending out House of Edwards. And for this look, I did put the slightest amount of primer under my lash line, and it made a world of difference. The shadow is definitely looking better and sticking better. All that I did to finish this look off was add some mascara. No falsies today for the more natural, everyday look.
It has been a couple hours. My hair is a little bit frizzy today, but this is the final look. I'm obsessed with how this turned out for a more natural, wearable, everyday look. That is possible with an eyeshadow palette created by a drag queen. It's not just all bright, bold all the time, as much as I love that. So let's go ahead and move on to look number 3. Time for look 3, yay!
Kicking off look 3 with Unicorn Tribe because honestly, I feel like this is a really great transition shade for these brighter colored looks. And I'm just picking that up on a Morphe M433, following the shape of my socket, honestly, doing the same shape and same blending that I did in the other 2 looks. I do have the primer on, and I took whatever was left and put it on my lower lash line, because what I think the key with this primer is less is more. So the thinnest amount works great as long as your lid is covered. I pat it out with a beauty blender, and that seems to work fine. And then whatever is left on my brush when I'm done applying to my lid, I just drag that down to my lower lash line, and I pat that out with a damp beauty blender. So general consensus is good. I do have some small critiques, but if you'd like to know what those are, you'll have to wait for the next video when I do my primer battle. Yes, but please subscribe so you don't miss that one. It'll be a good video. What I've done here is pick up my Real Techniques 203 blending brush with headliner, the white shade, and I'm just packing that onto my brow bone, kind of meshing it with the edge of Unicorn Tribe, and then I'm going to go back with the original brush with Unicorn Tribe, no new product, and just blend that together. And that's really the key to get like a flawless blend from your transition shade up into your brow bone. And I just like using a blending brush applying my brow bone color because I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm now going to go into BBDC with the Morphe 506, and I'm picking up the smallest, and I really mean the smallest amount of this. I don't want it to get too dark because I still wanted this to be a brighter look. So I'm picking up the lightest amount, and I'm just going to go back and outline that shape, bringing it slightly closer to my true crease. And I'm just going to work on blending that out back and forth with that brush and with the original brush with no new product. In case you couldn't tell, we're keeping the crease pretty purple, so now it's time to pick up the leaf on the same brush. And again, I picked up a very small amount of this, and I'm just doing the same exact step, just closer to my actual crease. Just take a little bit at a time, work on building your shadows up, and then the less product you have, the more you can blend it up and out to get everything seamless. Now I'm taking Texas Made, and I am going to pick that up on another 506 blending brush, and I'm just going to start putting that into that blank space that's in the front of my crease and start blending that into the purples. Before I add the rest of the pink, I'm going to take the shade Dream It, the beautiful blue, on a 506 again, and I'm just going to angle it here because I want the center of my eye to be like a triangle, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be making 2 downward angles on the outer and inner corner with the blue and the pink. So once I have that stamped down, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in that area, kind of build it into the crease slightly, but not too much because I don't want to take away all the purple that we laid down. So I'm just dragging the blue about to the halfway point, and then I'm going to go ahead and work on the pink. Going back into Texas Made, I'm mocking the same thing, so I'm bringing that line inward. I accidentally got a little bit of blue because I wasn't looking where I was dotting my eyeshadow on, so I just packed more pink on that to correct it. So here I am just building the shape for the lid, and then I'm going to take whatever is left and blend that up into the crease, mesh it into the blue, kind of create a purple back together in the center of my crease. To fill that area in, I'm going to dip into Brick Road just because I haven't really showcased the yellow a whole lot in this video or in any of the looks that I've done, so I wanted to definitely make sure I incorporated that. So on the same 506 brush, I am just patting that into the center to fill in that blank. In case this wasn't colorful enough for you, I am also adding Brick Road as my inner corner highlight. I definitely wanted to play more into shimmers because I haven't yet, so I'm going to be taking Beyond, DDG, and Inspire for my lid shimmers. To help enhance the shadows, I am just picking up the shadow on my brush, spraying it with some Vicks Plus, and then applying it to my eye. So anywhere on my lid I had those colors, that's just where I'm going over the shimmer. So I added the pink first, then the blue, then the gold in the center. I like these shimmers. I need to do a look with them on their own. I feel like they just add some depth and dimension. So when it comes to Inspire, because it's so powerful as like a shimmer shadow, I'm using it to quote unquote carve out my crease, I guess you could say, without using the base or having to go through that again. So I'm just outlining where I want the crease to go up to, dragging it down, and because it is a little bit more on the harsh side, or it stands out so much more compared to the blue and the purple, I definitely had to go back and forth. So I took a little bit of Inspire mixed with Beyond on the inner part of my lid to help blend that and help it look flawless. To add our last kick of shimmer, I am just applying a little bit of Inspire over the yellow for the inner corner highlight. Alrighty, that is it for the upper half. Now we're in the home stretch of the lower half. I just took my LA Girl Neon Liner in the shade Screamin' in my waterline to help this look pop even more. So now we are nice and zoomed in. It is time to get going, finish this look up. So for the lower lash line, I am honestly just taking a combination of the blue Dream It, the purple Believe, the pink Texas Made, and the yellow Brick Road. Using a Morphe E36, I love this brush for my lower lash line. I think I have like 2 or 3 of these brushes because I like them so much. I'm just laying down the purple first because it's almost a little bit darker, and I'm just making sure I connect it to my crease. I do that in every look, and I'm bringing it just about all the way in. Once I have that smudged on, I'm just gonna pack on the blue over the purple, blend the two together, start to drag this out slightly. I'm leaving the inner corner as open as I can, just making sure everything is nice and blended and connected. On the same brush, I'm just taking Texas Made and popping that into the inner corner, and I'm dragging that about halfway in. And I love these 3 colors. They just like remind me of Lisa Frank. I like to call them Lisa Frank colors. So I'm just adding that in and gradually building it up. And lastly, we're just adding the yellow right there to blend it together, and then I'm gonna go over that with the Inspire shimmer to tie it together. Here is what the shadows look like all completed. I'm just gonna add some mascara and my Ardell Wispies to finish this off.
Here is the finished look. I am obsessed with how this turned out. This palette is just so good. So yeah, I do have to say, if you haven't checked this palette out yet, I highly suggest you do. I think the primer works great. I'm gonna have 2 more videos kind of around this palette come out. I'm gonna be doing, not so much about the palette, the primer. I'm gonna be testing this against the P. Louise base. My friend was nice enough to send me hers that she's not using anymore. So we're gonna have a beauty battle with the primers to see what the difference is. I'm excited to test that base out. Obviously, it's so popular. And I'm also gonna compare this palette to the James Charles palette. So if you're somebody that might be like me that has a few colorful palettes and you're not sure if you need to add yet another one to your collection, we're gonna have a beauty battle with that as well. So be sure to stick around, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bells, because we're gonna have a lot of videos pumping out at you this week. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see anything else from me. What was your favorite look? Honestly, I think the first one might be my favorite, but I still really love this one. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.